Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bookercast, the podcast where books come to life.
And I'm so excited to dive into another amazing story with all of you.
Whether you're a bookworm or just love a good story, this is the place for you.
Every episode, we explore incredible books, talk about their stories and characters, and share insights that'll make you fall in love with reading all over again.
All right, let's not keep you waiting any longer. Get comfortable, and let's jump right into it.
Sounds good.
Welcome to our deep dive into On the Origin of Time by Thomas Hertog.
Oh, yeah, this one.
It's a really fascinating look at Stephen Hawking's final theory.
Yeah.
And
Kind of
all the work that he did,
Yeah.
Over years of collaboration with Hertog.
Yeah.
And we're going to be exploring some pretty mind-bending concepts like how time itself may have evolved,
Right.
the possibility of a multiverse, and what all of this means for our understanding of reality.
Yeah, it's particularly, I think, compelling, just given the context of Hawking's later years, right?
Right.
To be working on these ideas when facing the physical challenges he did. I mean, imagine trying to communicate, first through a clicker, then an infrared sensor on his glasses.
Right.
And ultimately, developing this almost intuitive connection with Hertog is just remarkable.
Yeah, I think it really speaks to the power of human connection and the drive to unravel the mysteries of the universe.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me was how Hertog explains the way that cosmologists use telescopes as time machines.
Right.
By peering deeper into space, we're essentially looking back in time.
Absolutely.
It's like having a window into the universe's past.
It's amazing to think that the light from those distant galaxies started its journey, billions of years ago, and we're only just now capturing it.
Right.
And to me, that just really underscores the vastness of the universe and, the incredible journey we're on as we try to understand it.
Yeah.
And it's not, entirely new either. Georges Lemaitre, this Belgian priest and physicist, he actually predicted an expanding universe back in 1927.
Wow.
So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Predicting a fundamental aspect of cosmology before the technology even existed to confirm it.
It's like predicting the internet before the invention of computers.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes you wonder what incredible discoveries are still waiting to be made.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about something that really captures the imagination.
Okay.
The Goldilocks factor.
Right.
The universe seems so finely tuned for life.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it was designed that way.
Yeah, the values of the fundamental constants of physics seem to be incredibly precise, right?
Right.
Hertog gives the example of the strong nuclear force.
Okay.
If it were just slightly stronger,
Yeah.
galaxies wouldn't have formed.
Wow.
Stars wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And life as we know it would be impossible.
Right.
So that raises some pretty profound questions, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Is it just a remarkable coincidence?
Right.
Or does it suggest some kind of deeper principle or even a guiding hand at work?
Yeah.
This whole idea of a designed universe has a long history, right?
Oh, definitely goes all the way back to, ancient philosophers like Aristotle,
Right.
And then you have arguments like William Paley's, famous watchmaker analogy,
Right.
where he says, the intricate design of a watch implies a watchmaker,
Right.
and suggests that the universe's complexity also points to a designer.
Right.
But, then Darwin's theory of evolution kind of comes along and really shakes things up.
Right. Evolution showed that apparent design in nature could arise from natural processes like natural selection.
Exactly.
So maybe the universe's design isn't evidence of a grand designer,
Right.
but rather the result of these self-organizing principles.
Exactly. It shifts the perspective.
Right.
Just as there's no need for a, cosmic watchmaker to explain the complexity of a watch.
Right.
Maybe there's no need for a supernatural designer to explain the fine-tuning of the universe.
Right. But of course, this debate continues.
Right.
Especially when we consider the mind-boggling concept of the multiverse.
Right.
The idea that our universe may be just one among an infinite number of universes.
Yeah.
Each with its own set of physical laws and constants. It's enough to make your head spin, but how does the multiverse fit into this discussion of design and fine-tuning?
Well, if there are countless universes with different properties, then it's statistically inevitable that some universes will, by pure chance, have the right conditions for life.
Right.
It's like winning the cosmic lottery.
Right.
So from a multiverse perspective, our universe's fine-tuning may not be so remarkable after all.
Right.
It's simply a consequence of us existing in a universe that allows for our existence.
Right.
And this is where the anthropic principle comes into play.
The anthropic principle, the idea that we observe what we do because we exist to observe it, it seems like a bit of a tautology.
Right.
But it does raise some interesting questions,
Yeah.
and it seems like even Hawking and Lind, who were both proponents of the multiverse,
Right.
had differing views on this.
Yeah, their debate about the multiverse and the anthropic principle is fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, Hawking, while acknowledging the potential for a multiverse, did express concerns about relying too heavily on the anthropic principle.
Okay.
He worried it could lead to a kind of scientific resignation, just accepting things as they are because that's what allows for our existence.
Right.
Without pushing for deeper explanation.
Like saying, well, the universe is the way it is because we're here, so why bother looking any further?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hawking believed that science should strive for more than just explaining what we observe.
Right.
It should aim to predict and understand the underlying mechanisms that govern the universe.
Right.
He felt that relying too much on the anthropic principle could undermine that goal.
Okay.
But let's move on to another one of Hawking's revolutionary ideas.
It's okay.
The no-boundary proposal.
This is the idea that the universe had no beginning in the traditional sense, right?
Precisely.
It kind of challenges our intuitive notion of time having a starting point.
Yeah, it's a very difficult concept to wrap your head around,
Right.
but essentially it proposes that the universe emerged from a state where time as we know it didn't exist.
Okay.
It kind of blends these ideas of quantum mechanics and general relativity to describe the universe's origin not as a singular point in time,
Right.
but as a smooth, self-contained entity, almost like a bubble emerging from a quantum foam.
Okay.
It suggests that time itself may have evolved from a more fundamental state.
So instead of a universe with a definite beginning, we have a universe that's always existed in some form.
Right.
But time as we experience it emerged later.
Exactly.
It's a truly mind-bending concept.
It is, and it leads to some truly profound implications for our understanding of the universe and our place within it.
Okay, let's talk about another mind-blowing concept, the holographic universe.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
All right, so imagine a 3D movie projected onto a 2D screen.
Okay.
The information about that 3D scene is encoded on the 2D surface,
Right.
even though the image itself appears three-dimensional.
Right.
So holography suggests that something similar might be happening with our universe.
You're saying that our three-dimensional reality, including time,
Yeah.
could be a projection from a lower dimensional surface. But how is that even possible? Where would this lower dimensional surface be?
Well, it's a wild idea, and the specifics are still being worked out, but some physicists believe that the information about our universe could be encoded on a surface at the very edge of the observable universe. Kind of cosmic horizon.
So it's like our universe is a giant hologram projected from the boundary of reality.
It's a mind-blowing concept.
It is, but wouldn't that mean that everything we experience, including ourselves, is just an illusion?
Well, it's not that our experiences are illusions, but rather that there might be a deeper, more fundamental level of reality that underlies everything we perceive.
Okay.
It's like looking at a shadow on a wall.
Right.
The shadow is real, but it's just a representation of a three-dimensional object.
Okay.
Similarly, our universe might be a holographic projection of a deeper reality.
That's a fascinating but unsettling thought.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if there's anything truly fundamental or if everything we experience is just a manifestation of something else.
It definitely challenges our assumptions about the nature of reality.
It does.
But what's even more mind-boggling is that this holographic principle might hold the key to understanding how time itself emerges.
I'm all ears. How does holography explain the emergence of time?
So remember how we talked about the no-boundary proposal?
Yeah.
And the idea that time might have evolved from a more fundamental state?
Right.
Well, holography suggests that time might be encoded in the quantum interactions happening on this lower dimensional surface.
Okay.
So imagine this surface as a kind of cosmic computer.
Okay.
And the quantum interactions are like the code running on that computer.
Okay.
This code, according to the holographic principle, could give rise to the experience of time as we know it.
Wow.
In our three-dimensional world.
So time isn't a fundamental aspect of reality, but emerges from the quantum realm.
Exactly.
It's like time is a program running on a cosmic hard drive.
That's a very strange idea.
It is.
But it's one that's gaining traction in theoretical physics. And it leads to some very interesting questions about the nature of time itself.
Right.
If time is emergent,
Yeah.
does it mean that our past, present, and future are all somehow encoded in this quantum information?
Right.
If we could understand the code, could we potentially manipulate time itself?
That's getting into some serious science fiction territory,
It is.
but it's also incredibly exciting. It seems like we're on the verge of some truly groundbreaking discoveries about the nature of time in the universe.
We are, and Hertog's book really offers a glimpse into these cutting-edge ideas,
Right.
Pushing us to rethink our most fundamental assumptions about reality.
Yeah.
But before we dive into, the even deeper implications of these concepts,
Okay.
maybe let's take a step back and consider the broader context of Hawking's final theory and his unique approach to cosmology.
Okay, let's do that. It seems like Hawking was moving away from the traditional bottom-up approach to cosmology,
Right.
where you start with fundamental laws and see where they lead.
Exactly. He was advocating for a top-down approach,
Okay.
which essentially starts with the observation that the universe is hospitable to life,
Okay.
and then works backward to understand its origins and the laws of physics.
So instead of starting with the building blocks of the universe and seeing how they assemble,
Right.
we start with the finished product, a universe with life, and trying to figure out how it got that way.
Exactly. It flips the traditional approach on its head,
Right.
and it has some profound implications for our understanding of both the universe and our place within it.
Okay, I'm ready for the implications.
Yeah.
What does this top-down approach tell us about the universe and ourselves?
Well, it suggests that the laws of physics themselves might not be fixed and eternal,
Okay.
but rather emerged alongside the universe
Yeah.
in a way that ultimately led to the conditions necessary for life.
Okay.
It's like the universe and its laws co-evolved,
Yeah.
with life playing a crucial role in shaping that evolution.
That's a radical idea.
It is.
It challenges the traditional view of physics as discovering these eternal, unchanging laws that govern the universe.
Right.
Are you saying that the laws of physics are more like guidelines that are subject to change?
Well, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
It's not that the laws are arbitrary or constantly changing,
Right.
but rather that they might be part of a deeper, more dynamic reality that we're only beginning to grasp. It's as if the universe is a grand experiment, and the laws of physics are the rules of the experiment, but those rules themselves are subject to the conditions of the experiment,
Okay.
including the emergence of life.
Wow, that's a lot to digest.
Mm.
It sounds like Hawking was moving towards a more holistic and interconnected view of the universe,
Yeah,
where life isn't just an accidental byproduct, but an integral part of the cosmic story.
precisely. And this shift in perspective has profound implications for how we view ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
Right.
If the universe and its laws co-evolved in a way that led to life, then we're not just passive observers, but active participants in the grand scheme of things.
That's a pretty empowering thought. It makes you feel like we're not just insignificant specks in a vast, indifferent universe,
Right.
but rather integral parts of a cosmic tapestry that's still being woven.
It is empowering, and it comes with a sense of responsibility, too.
Right.
If we're active participants in the universe's evolution,
Right.
then our actions, our choices, and our understanding of the universe itself have a profound impact on the unfolding of the cosmic story.
That's a heavy responsibility. It
Yeah.
makes you think twice about taking the universe for granted, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Hawking's final theory, as presented by Hertog, challenges us to move beyond a purely objective, detached view of the universe
Right.
and embrace our role as conscious creative beings who are intimately connected to the cosmos.
Right.
It's a call to recognize our agency and participate in the universe's unfolding with awareness, responsibility, and a deep sense of wonder.
It's an inspiring and humbling thought, and it seems like we've only just begun to explore the implications of these groundbreaking ideas.
Absolutely, we're just scratching the surface.
But before we dive deeper, let's take a quick break to let all of this sink in.
Yeah, good idea.
We'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into the origins of time.
We'll be back to explore how this new perspective on cosmology and the nature of time might shape our understanding of the future, and the choices we make as individuals and as a species don't go anywhere. The adventure continues in a moment.
Welcome back to our deep dive into On the Origin of Time. Before the break, we were discussing Hawking's top-down approach to cosmology
Yeah.
and how it suggests that we're not just passive observers,
Right.
but active participants in the universe's story.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty profound shift in perspective.
It is, and it challenges us to reconsider not only our place in the universe, but also the very nature of the universe itself.
Yeah.
And one area where this new perspective really shines, I think, is in our understanding of black holes.
Black holes, those cosmic enigmas that warp space and time, they've always captured the public imagination. I remember as a kid picturing them as these giant vacuum cleaners sucking up everything in their path.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. While black holes have immense gravitational pull, they don't actually suck things in. What's interesting is that for a long time, black holes were thought to be these inescapable prisons where matter and information went to vanish forever.
Right.
But Hawking's work changed all that. Back in the 1970s, he made this groundbreaking discovery that black holes actually radiate energy.
But black holes aren't completely black. They radiate something that seems counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it? But that's the beauty of science constantly challenging our assumptions.
Right.
Hawking showed that black holes have a temperature and emit thermal radiation, now known as Hawking radiation.
Okay.
And this finding really shook the foundations of physics because it suggested that black holes weren't eternal as previously believed.
Right.
Instead, they slowly evaporate over vast stretches of time.
So if black holes radiate energy and eventually evaporates,
Right.
what happens to all the stuff that they swallowed? Does it just disappear?
That's the million-dollar question that puzzled physicists for decades. It's called the black hole information paradox.
Okay.
Quantum mechanics, which governs the subatomic world, dictates that information cannot be destroyed.
Right.
Yet, if black holes evaporate completely, what happens to the information about all the matter they consumed?
Right. It seems like a fundamental conflict between two of our most successful theories, general relativity and quantum mechanics.
Exactly. It seemed like an unresolvable contradiction.
So did physicists just throw up their hands and say, well, we just don't know?
Not exactly. It sparked this intense search for a solution,
Okay.
a way to reconcile these seemingly incompatible ideas.
Uh-huh.
And as we've been discussing, the key to unlocking this puzzle might lie in the holographic principle.
Okay. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole concept of holography. How does this idea of information being encoded on a boundary help us understand black holes?
Okay, so imagine a black hole existing within a hypothetical space called anti-de Sitter space, or ADS.
Okay.
This space has a boundary like the edge of a box.
Okay.
And holography proposes that all the information about the black hole, including its interior, can be encoded on that boundary.
So the boundary is like a cosmic hard drive storing the complete blueprint of the black hole.
That's a good analogy, but here's where it gets even more mind-blowing.
Okay.
The information on the boundary isn't encoded in gravity, but in a quantum theory of particles and fields without gravity.
Okay.
This leads to this remarkable duality known as the AD-SCFT correspondence.
AD-SCFT. I'm guessing that stands for something complicated.
It does, but it's an incredibly important concept. CFT stands for conformal field theory, which is a type of quantum field theory.
Okay.
And the AD-SCFT correspondence suggests that this quantum theory on the boundary can completely describe the physics of gravity and matter inside the ADS space, including the black hole.
So we have this bizarre connection between a theory with gravity describing the black hole and a theory without gravity describing the information on the boundary. It sounds like something out of Alice in Wonderland.
It does, but it's one of the most profound discoveries in modern physics. It's a powerful tool that gives us a new way to think about gravity and quantum mechanics, and might hold the key to finally unifying these two fundamental theories.
So how does this duality help us resolve the black hole information paradox?
Well, it suggests that information swallowed by a black hole isn't truly lost. Instead, it's encoded in the quantum state of the boundary theory as the black hole evaporates through Hawking radiation. This information is slowly released back into the universe. It doesn't disappear, it just transforms.
So the information escapes the black hole clutches through this holographic connection to the boundary. It's like a cosmic magic trick.
It is a bit like that, but you mentioned that holography applies to more than just black holes. Remember our discussion about the no-boundary proposal and the possibility of time being emergent? Well, holography can be applied to cosmology as well.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that the entire universe is a hologram? That's a pretty radical idea.
It is, but it's an idea that some physicists are taking very seriously, just like information about a black hole can be encoded on a boundary. Information about the entire universe might be encoded on a lower dimensional surface.
So our three-dimensional reality, including time, could be a holographic projection from a two-dimensional surface.
Exactly. It's like the universe is a giant cosmic movie projected from a cosmic screen.
That's incredible, but how could that even be possible?
It's a fascinating concept, and it's still very much a work in progress, but if it's true, it would have profound implications for our understanding of reality.
Okay, like what?
Well, for one, it might provide a way to finally reconcile general relativity, which describes gravity and the large-scale structure of the
All
universe,
right.
with quantum mechanics, which governs the subatomic world.
So holography could be the bridge between these two seemingly incompatible theories.
Exactly. And it could also help us understand the emergence of time. Remember how we discussed the idea that time might not be fundamental, but rather emerge from the quantum realm?
Yeah.
Holography provides a mechanism for how this might happen.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does holography explain the emergence of time?
Okay, so imagine the lower dimensional surface we've been talking about, the one that encodes the information about our universe,
Right.
as a vast cosmic computer, and the quantum interactions happening on this surface are like the code running on that computer. This code, according to the holographic principle, could give rise to the experience of time as we know it in our three-dimensional world.
So time isn't a fundamental aspect of reality, but emerges from the quantum realm. It's like time is a program running on a cosmic hard drive.
It's a very strange idea, but it's one that's gaining traction in theoretical physics, and it leads to some very interesting questions about the nature of time itself.
Okay.
If time is emergent, does
Yeah.
it mean that our past, present, and future are all somehow encoded in this quantum information? If we could understand the code, could we potentially manipulate time itself?
That's getting into some serious science fiction territory.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. It seems like we're on the verge of some truly groundbreaking discoveries about the nature of time in the universe.
We are, and Hertog's book offers a glimpse into these cutting-edge ideas, pushing us to rethink our most fundamental assumptions about reality. But before we delve into the even deeper implications of these concepts, let's take a step back and consider the broader context of Hawking's final theory and his unique approach to cosmology.
Okay.
It seemed like Hawking was moving away from the traditional bottom-up
Yeah.
approach to cosmology, where you start with fundamental laws and see where they lead.
You're right. He was advocating for a top-down approach, which essentially starts with the observation that the universe is hospitable to life and then works backward to understand its origins and the laws of physics.
So instead of starting with the building blocks of the universe and seeing how they assemble, we start with the finished product, a universe with life, and try to figure out how it got that way.
Exactly. It flips the traditional approach on its head, and it has some profound implications for our understanding of both the universe and our place within it.
Okay, I'm ready for the implications. What does this top-down approach tell us about the universe and ourselves?
Well, it suggests that the laws of physics themselves might not be fixed and eternal, but rather emerged alongside the universe in a way that ultimately led to the conditions necessary for life. It's like the universe and its laws co-evolved with life playing a crucial role in shaping that evolution.
That's a radical idea. It challenges the traditional view of physics as discovering these eternal, unchanging laws that govern the universe. Are you saying that the laws of physics are more like guidelines that are subject to change?
It's more nuanced than that. It's not that the laws are arbitrary or constantly changing, but rather that they might be part of a deeper, more dynamic reality that we're only beginning to grasp. It's as if the universe is a grand experiment, and the laws of physics are the rules of the experiment. But those rules themselves are subject to the conditions of the experiment, including the emergence of life.
Wow, that's a lot to digest. It sounds like Hawking was moving towards a more holistic and interconnected view of the universe, where life isn't just an accidental byproduct, but an integral part of the cosmic story.
Precisely. And this shift in perspective has profound implications for how we view ourselves and our place in the cosmos. If the universe and its laws co-evolved in a way that led to life, then we're not just passive observers, but active participants in the grand scheme of things.
That's a pretty empowering thought. It makes you feel like we're not just insignificant specks in a vast and different universe, but rather integral parts of a cosmic tapestry that's still being woven.
It is empowering, and it comes with a sense of responsibility, too. If we're active participants in the universe's evolution, then our actions, our choices, and our understanding of the universe itself have a profound impact on the unfolding of the cosmic story.
That's a heavy responsibility.
Yeah.
It makes you think twice about taking the universe for granted, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Hawking's final theory, as presented by Hertog, challenges us to move beyond a purely objective, detached view of the universe and embrace our role as conscious creative beings who are intimately connected to the cosmos. It's a call to recognize our agency and participate in the universe's unfolding with awareness, responsibility, and a deep sense of wonder.
Okay, I need a moment to process all of this. It's a lot to take in. We've gone from black holes to holography, from the information paradox to the idea that the entire universe might be a projection from a lower dimensional surface.
It's a wild ride through some of the most mind-bending ideas in modern physics. But that's the beauty of exploring the universe. It constantly challenges our assumptions and pushes us to expand our understanding of reality.
It's definitely an adventure, but where do we go from here? How do these ideas impact our understanding of the future? And more importantly, what does it all mean for us, for humanity?
That's the question we'll delve into when we return for the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even more thought-provoking.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the mind-bending world of On the Origin of Time. We've covered so much ground, from the evolution of time to the holographic universe.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. Now, I'm really curious, where does it all lead?
Yeah.
How do these ideas shape our understanding of the future?
Well, that's a great question, and it gets to the heart of Hawking's final theory and what it means for us as humans. If we accept that time itself is emergent, as holography suggests,
Yeah.
it really throws into question our traditional understanding of the past, present, and future.
Right, our intuitive notion of linear time with a fixed past to present moment and an open future.
Yeah.
That all starts to get blurry.
Exactly. Hawking's top-down approach combined with holography paints a very different picture. It suggests that time isn't this fixed backdrop for the universe,
Okay.
but an emergent property woven into the fabric of reality itself.
Right.
And if that's true, then the past, present, and future are inextricably linked in ways we're only beginning to understand.
So how does this change how we think about the past? Is it still fixed and immutable, or does it become more fluid in this model?
Well, think about traditional cosmology.
Yeah.
It starts with the Big Bang as a singular point in time,
Right.
and then traces the evolution of the universe forward.
Right.
The past is seen as fixed, a set sequence of events leading to the present.
Like a cosmic history book with a clear timeline.
Exactly, but in the top-down approach, the past isn't necessarily fixed.
Okay.
It's shaped by the present, by the observation that the universe is hospitable to life.
Okay.
It's like working backward from the present to reconstruct a plausible history that led to our existence. This introduces a kind of feedback loop between the past and the present.
So the past isn't out there as some objective truth.
Right.
Instead, it's influenced by the present.
Exactly.
That's a pretty radical departure from the traditional view.
It is, and it has profound implications for how we think about the future as well.
Okay.
If the past isn't fixed, then the future becomes even more open and uncertain.
It makes predicting the future seem almost impossible, doesn't it? Like trying to predict the weather 1,000 years from now.
In a strictly deterministic sense, yes, but it also opens up a new kind of freedom.
Oh.
The freedom to participate in shaping the future in ways we might not have imagined before. And this brings us back to the idea we touched on earlier, the shift from discovering to engineering reality.
Right. If the laws of physics themselves aren't fixed and eternal, but emerged alongside the universe, then perhaps we can influence how those laws evolve. We become active participants in shaping not just our own future, but the future of reality itself.
Exactly. Hertog talks about this transition as one of the most significant implications of Hawking's final theory. We move beyond simply observing and understanding the universe
Right.
to actively participating in its unfolding. It's a powerful and daunting prospect.
It's both exhilarating and terrifying, wouldn't you say? Exhilarating because of the immense potential it opens up,
Yeah.
but terrifying because of the responsibility that comes with it.
Absolutely. It's like we're being handed the keys to the universe and told, okay, now it's your turn to drive.
Right.
We need to be incredibly mindful of the choices we make and the impact those choices have on the future of the universe and all life within it.
It makes you realize that we're not just passengers on this cosmic journey.
Right.
We're the navigators, the map makers, and perhaps even the architects of the universe to come.
That's a beautiful way to put it, and it underscores the profound shift in perspective that Hawking's final theory, as presented by Hertog, invites us to embrace.
Yeah.
We're not just insignificant specks in a vast and different universe. We're integral parts of a grand unfolding story.
Right.
And we have the power and the responsibility to help shape that story.
It's a humbling and empowering thought And it leaves me with a sense of awe and wonder,
Hmm?
but also a deep sense of responsibility.
I feel the same way. It's a reminder that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves and that our actions have consequences that ripple out across time and space.
Well, I think we've covered an incredible amount of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've journeyed from the Big Bang to black holes, from the multiverse to the holographic universe. We've grappled with some of the most profound questions about the nature of time reality and our place in the cosmos.
And in doing so, I think we've caught a glimpse of a new way of seeing the universe.
Yeah.
One that challenges our assumptions, expands our horizons, and invites us to participate in this grand cosmic dance with awareness, humility, and a deep sense of wonder.
It's been an incredible journey. Thanks for guiding us through these mind-bending concepts and helping us understand the implications of Hawking's final theory.
It's been my pleasure, and to our listeners, I encourage you to continue exploring these ideas, to keep asking questions, and to never stop being curious about the universe and our place within it.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the mysteries of existence. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep looking up at the stars with wonder.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of BookerCast. We hope you enjoyed diving into it as much as we did. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Your support means the world, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. See you in the next deep dive. Bye for now, and happy reading.